Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pod TV's #1 do-it-yourself advocate show, Timeshare Solutions or Surrender. My name is Kimberly Calhoun, and I'm one of the founders of Pod TV, and I'm very honored to be hosting this show and broadcasting it to the world because we have been able, with the help of Irene and Tarda, we have been able to help so many people find solutions and resolutions to their timeshare situations because not every situation is a victim. But there are so many situations, and sometimes it's just a misunderstanding of how to use your timeshare. And then sometimes it is a victim, which we are also going to be working with and following a bill that's being put into place to help prevent more timeshare victims. I would like to welcome you to join us. Text us if you have any questions. And help me welcome Irene Parker. Hi, Irene.
Hi, Kim. It's so nice to be back. Having taken November and December off, I feel all fresh and ready to go. So we're going to, again, this is episode 88, and I'm happy to have on with us today our TARDA board member, Sherida in Minnesota. And then we also have today with us Chad in Pennsylvania. And Chad because of the volume of people reaching out, and it's not easy juggling 3 to 5 guests every week, we have launched a resource library. So this is our 25-minute live session, and then we have a 35-minute resource library. And I'm going to pause this right here in case anyone wants to take a screenshot of that, beginning with Brian Rogers of Timeshare Users Group. And number 10 is Kim and Sheila. And I think I got the name wrong right there. It should be Sheila, not Sherida. How unusual for me to get that.
Oh, that's unusual. It's me, Sheila, Chad, and you. We're discussing the bill coming up and the problems that people have when they engage in doing a contract with timeshares, and the misrepresentation of oral representation, which is probably one of the major problems of timeshares and the victims that we have worked with is how they misrepresented the sale during the oral representation. And the other is that by the time you get to use the timeshare, because they have a delay put on it when you use it from the time you bought it, and by the time you get to use it, you don't have any rights to return it. So there are a lot of things that need to change in the law. That's coming down the loop. But Irene, go ahead and get this show started. I'm looking forward to hearing what we have going on today.
Right. And Sheila, our board president, and Chad both bought from Club Exploria. They offer no responsible exit. And let's get that. Yeah, so what we're doing is these are the 7 provisions of the Senate bill that's been introduced by Senator John Curtis of Utah and Senator Adam Schiff of California. And we're going to look at there's 7 provisions, but we're going to talk about the ones that specifically apply to Chad. And also Sherida has resolved a couple of disputes herself following our dispute resolution policy. But as I go through these, we want we want people to go to TARDA's website, go to the blog, the first blog right now. It will be under TARDA December newsletter, describes the instructions on how to reach out to your local congressmen and women, and also how, if there are about 30 people on the committee, senators on the committee, if you live in one of the states where they are advocating on your behalf, we want you to share your story with them and show support for this bill. And I want to bring, let's put Chad, if we can bring Chad back on here, thank you, and Sherida. So beginning with I'm going to start with the second provision of the bill. Mandate disclosure of modifiable fees and the notice requirement for such changes. The best example, I had someone reach out this past week I hadn't heard from since 2018. Diamond Resorts charged $1,000 per contract to take timeshares back, their points back, and that would have been $3,000. Hilton bought Diamond and adopted Blue Green's policy of 18 months of maintenance fees, and for this member, that would be $30,400. No one at purchase, if that had been disclosed, would have bought that timeshare. And Sheila, who has medical challenges and can no longer use the timeshare, there's no responsible exit. There's really no resale value. They become sinking ships. Wyndham is in bankruptcy proceedings on 15 resorts. The next one applies to Chad. And that is, one of the provisions is to grant buyers a 14-day cancellation period. Now, whereas that would be helpful to standardize it, because people are always posting things like, you had 5 days to cancel. Well, they might have been in Nevada. And that person they're replying to might be in Florida, where it's 10 days. But in many cases, that doesn't protect you, because you don't have access to the booking site until after the cancellation period has expired. And Chad is our poster boy for the reason, as a real life example, as to why a 14-day period would not have protected him. So Chad, if you could go over what you went over when we were pre-recording the library.
Yeah, of course. So we got lured in at a community event by Exploria, saying, "Oh, come, spend a little time with us. We'll give you $100 gift card, and you just come and talk to us. Just come and talk to us." And, we go in there, and the agent said, "Oh, you can use your points for cruises and this and that." And we're like, "Oh, we're not really interested, because we really only go on cruises." And she said, "Oh, well, scribble down on their secret paper that you don't get to see or take pictures of or do anything with." And she's like, look at this math. You can go on 2 cruises a year with these 177 points and have leftover to still do a stay. And we're like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, let's do it. This is great." We didn't get our packet till after the rescission period. We didn't even have access to the booking site till after the rescission period. And I believe it was even past the 14-day mark. So we couldn't even know that we were lied to. And, Exploria comes back and says, "Well, if you would have read the contract." And I go, "If I would have read the contract, I'd still have known nothing. Because you don't list the amount of points I need to do things with in the contract. It just says, yeah, you can use them for that, but I don't know how much." We did the math, and it would take us 20 years of saving points to go on 1 4-day cruise with Royal Caribbean. 20 years. Yeah, that wasn't in the contract. So,
Well, and it's usually, it can be like 30 to 60 days before you have access to the booking site.
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we said, well, and they pretty much told us they had one of their, team members or whatever call us and say, oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And they're like, you're just stuck. Just get over it. Just embrace the suck, basically, is what they told us. And so we did another stay with them as a marketing thing at Gatlinburg. And we're like, wow, we love Gatlinburg. Our son loved Gatlinburg. And we went and had to sit in one of those sales meetings again. And she was like, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, they really lied to you really bad up in the Poconos. She goes, you can't even do anything. You can't even do a week stay here at one of the home resorts for what they sold you. And we're like, what? She goes, yeah, well, since you're stuck, you might as well buy more. We're like, I mean, I guess.
Just like stockbrokers, we'd say, don't be sore, buy more.
Right. Right. It's Stockholm syndrome. She's like, since you're trapped with us, you might as well love us. And so we bought more because we're like, oh, we'll just, like, we love Gatlinburg. I guess we'll just buy. And we showed up for our booking in October to find out that they sold the resort off. And they had to have known that when she sold us these extra points, like, because these things don't just happen overnight. Like, they don't sell off whole resorts in a couple weeks. Like, they knew well about it then and still decided to just ram it to us anyway.
And we're laughing, but you really feel you had no choice but to default on the loan, correct?
Correct. Yep. And they call us, and they call us every day and ask why we aren't paying them. And I tell them, well, maybe you shouldn't lie and, get a better grasp of what your salespeople are doing. And they're like, well, that's not up to me. And I go, actually, it is. That's 100% your responsibility. It's not my responsibility.
That's great. What a wonderful attitude. Now, the other one that is, I really think applies, is allow buyers time to privately review the timeshare agreement. So we're talking about a cooling off period before you sign, as opposed to a rescission period after you sign. And Senior versus Crime, the Senior Sleuth they had wrote about it, and Doug Shadell at AARP, who, by the way, is supporting this bill, said if someone demands that you buy the same day, it's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, timeshare buyers are always told they have to buy the same day.
Yep.
And
they knew we were susceptible to that too, because we had our 2-year-old with us at the sale, who was, he's sitting through a 2-hour, meeting. So his attention span is gone. So they know they've got us hook, line, and sinker that they can use. Oh, well, let's hurry up and get your son out of here since he's, losing his patience.
Well, and in 2019, former state representative of Arizona, Shauna Bullock, introduced a bill that would have allowed 24 hours before signing. It passed the House 100%. It got to the Senate, and ARDA, not to be confused with TARDA, the industry lobby, the American Resort Development Association, Don Isaacson was the lobbyist first to speak. It said it's not the state's responsibility to protect people that don't take the time to understand the deal. And we're paying them $5 million a year through automatic donations opt out. And Sherida, you were mentioning something to me about the time to review. What can you recall what your comment was?
I believe that the customer needs to walk away from the hype and the noise and all the talk and all the numbers that they're presenting to you. Go back to their rooms, discuss it with their spouses, clear their heads, and then they be able to think clearly, and they can think about what the sales rep said, that, oh yes, you can just spend $45,000 and you can make money by renting this out. And you can stop and think, wait a minute, I would have to spend $45,000. I'd have to dig myself out of that hole first before I could start to, quote, make money. And if you had time to think and had time to freely speak to your spouse or to whomever you're with, you can come to grips with what they're saying, and then you don't have to go back and sign their document.
Well, I could be hired as a robot auto denier. But Sherida, you had 10 days in Florida to review the contract. So what difference does it make that you have time before you sign?
Well, let's see. What am I going to do? Am I going to go on the beach? Because I'm from Minnesota. Am I going to go on the beach and enjoy the sand and the water, or am I going to sit in the room and read through this dry contract? What am I going to do first? So I don't decide to look at the contract. I will look at it when I get home. But there again, you're trying to get yourself in order once you get home, and you may not have time to look at it. And there again, you don't have access to the booking sites. So besides believing their lies, you don't have anything to verify that they are lying to you until it's too late.
Okay. And then the sixth provision of the bill is it empowers the Federal Trade Commission to enforce these rules and issue further regulations. So the FTC defines unfair and deceptive practices. And one of the biggest concerns we have is active duty service members that are finding their security clearances in jeopardy. And I prepared a list of 6 news reports. Diane Burkhart's father, it was reported in Consumer Affairs, and I think it was around 2018. They sold him $250,000 worth of points when he was 88 years old. And then we had the Lusk family, Christian missionaries, ages 88 and 89, upsold to a $197,000 loan. And I attended a trial where the attorney representing the timeshare company was asked about that family, and his comment was, "Aren't old people allowed to take a vacation?" So right now it is a we versus them. And we just need to find common ground to, let's not say see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. The status quo is not acceptable. And Sherida, you've been you were able to turn timeshare lemons into timeshare lemonade. So tell us a little bit about you are a Florida licensed real estate agent. I sort of hooked you into that.
Yes, you did.
And I think now he's going to let us say the name of your company, right? He was afraid too many people like Chad were going to call him, thinking that you could sell his Club Exploria. So tell us a little bit about what you can sell and what you can't sell.
So we sell on the secondary market Marriott, Legacy Weeks, and points.
I think we have permission to say the name of the company now, right?
Okay, we'll say it. And it's True Timeshare, and it's a good company, and I help a lot of elderly folks who are widows and widowers, and we're able to sell a lot of their Legacy Weeks and points for a percentage of what they purchase it for, but at least it's something. And sometimes it's depending on which resort it is, the more sought after ones, you can get a higher price. But it is what I do now, and I'm helping people who have their eyes wide open, who want to purchase something on the secondary market. And for those who need to get rid of them, that is a way, we are an outlet for them to sell their units.
So you're primarily Marriott, correct?
Marriott, yeah,
Yeah, because Marriott does have some resale value.
yep.
So, and then you've been talking to people like Chad, Phil, to contact us, and we've had since the first of the year, January 1, 19 people have families have reached out to us. You put that in perspective with an exit company that may get 3,000 callers a week. And we want people to also reach out to ARDA. Mr. Jason Gamble is the president, and they launched a Timeshare Consumer Protection Center. And Chad, how would you respond to, contrary to what exit companies tell you, it doesn't have to be difficult, expensive, or time consuming to exit a timeshare?
Well, first I can say that Arda Rock is a sham as well. When I reached out to them, they pretty much said, well, we'll definitely look into it and get back to you, but they would have to breach our code of ethics. And I've emailed them a bunch of times, and they have gone ghost, as they say.
What they do is they refer you to their resource center, and on there is Sell My Timeshare Now and Timeshares Only, of which we have had many complaints of exaggerating the listing price, which if you're a Florida real estate license, you can lose your license if you inflate the price. And Timeshares Only is owned by the former chairman or president of ARDA. So what we need to do is just get some reality into the picture. And Kim, we're starting to already wind down for our 25 minutes. I'm trying to get used to this new little window, but it's really been a big stress reducer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different way of doing TV shows. A lot of people do not understand the challenge. It's not like we just get up here and talk. It looks like it, but we do a lot of research and work and practice before we do that. But anyway, Irene, what else would you like to tell the viewers as we wrap up here?
And make sure again to look at the tarda.org website, and the December newsletter is about the Timeshare Transparency Act. Also, between episodes 87, 25 minutes and 60 on the Pod TV showcase, you see the Timeshare Library, which really turned out. Thank you, Kim and Mark, for your engineering prowess to get that accomplished. It really meant a lot to all of us. So, Kim, do you want to end us, or would you?
I will. Everyone, before you go in and buy, make sure that you ask a lot of questions, watch our shows, even contact Irene. Don't just buy it.
Contact us.
Right, tarda.org. But, don't be pressured to buy anything. If someone pressures you and they say, well, it's not going to be this price in an hour, walk away. Buy
From the secondary market. Buy from the secondary market. Get it on the secondary market.
Right. Always go look at the secondary market. But they
4 seconds. 4 seconds left.
4 seconds left, but they make you feel like you have to buy now. So always do your homework. Walk away. It'll be there tomorrow. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Timeshare Solution or Surrender. And we will start putting this on TikTok. Have a great day, everyone. Stay healthy so you stay wealthy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.